us now on the final word, our lawyer, Howard Calleja, and one of the petitioners, Dr. Rommel Bautista. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the final word. Dr. Bautista, let me start off with you. What kind of petition are you planning to file against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos?
Well, first of all, good evening, Rico, and to your viewers. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, not affiliated with any political party, and neither am I a political aspirant in any shape or form. But it is my understanding that somebody who aspires to run to be a public servant, any capacity, much more the highest post in the land, which is the presidency, needs to have a clean background. And again, through the research, it appears that the presidential aspirant, Mr. Marcos, however popular he may be, as according to his campaign spokesman or lawyer, seems to be not exactly very forthcoming with all the voters.
But Dr. Bautista, my question is, what kind of petition are you planning to file? Do you want the COC of Bongbong Marcos canceled, or are you planning a Marcos disqualification petition?
Well, essentially both. We want the COC contains a question. And that question is quite simple. It's a one-sentence question. It basically asks the candidate, or the one filing the COC, whether or not he has been found guilty of a crime or convicted of a crime. And there are only two answers to that. It's either yes or no. And I believe the answer that Mr. Marcos placed was that he was not convicted of any crime.
So what kind of
what the records have shown? What
kind of support are you gaining right now for this petition that you will be filing very soon?
Since this thing basically broke out, we're getting lots of messages of support from various groups, professionals, engineers, scientists, lawyers, engineers, architects, etc., all of which are willing to file the petition saying the same. So, with regards to your question, it's quite a diverse group of people, none of which are politically affiliated, by the way.
Okay, Dr. Bautista, I'd like to ask Attorney Calleja now. What is the difference between Marcos' certificate of candidacy being canceled and a Marcos disqualification? Which one do you think, Attorney, will have more weight?
Both have, Rico, have a very strong case, no? Cancellation of the COC because of a material misrepresentation, because as already stated by Dr. Rommel, because he said that he has not been found guilty of a crime of moral turpitude. But it's clear in our mind that his conviction for his violation of non-filing and non-payment of taxes in the years 82, 83, 84, and 85 carries with it the penalty also of moral turpitude. Secondly, the disqualification is on his violation of the tax code, Rico. And his violation of the tax code does not even require moral turpitude. It requires a simple violation of the tax code under 253C, which, again, his non-payment of taxes and non-filing of taxes is a clear violation of the tax code, which carries with it a penalty of perpetual disqualification to hold public office.
But
so on those
Attorney
two counts,
Calleja,
Rico, we can hold him liable and disqualified to run for any public office.
But Attorney Calleja, why wasn't this issue or these cases raised in past elections? And Marcos ran and won for as high as senator before, and he was even allowed to run for vice president.
His running and his this non-issue before, if it was not brought up, is of no moment, Rico. It does not make the issue moot. It does not validate his running or validate his candidacy now. All it says was there was no case filed before, but it does not mean that no case should be filed now. There is no, the prescription does not lapse on the filing of these cases. So I think the issue of timing is not even relevant in this case. What is relevant is that Mr. Marcos has been convicted of a crime, and that conviction carries with it the penalty of moral turpitude and the penalty of perpetual disqualification to hold public office.
Dr. Bautista, why still file these petitions? Why not leave the decision to the people if they want to vote for Marcos or not? Let our kababayans give the final verdict.
I think Rico, everybody who votes needs to be aware of both the plans and platforms of our presidential aspirants, and at the same time also know what their past is about. Now, if you're aspiring to be president and you've continuously failed to pay taxes when everyone else is trying or struggling to do the same, I mean, I can understand. Perhaps maybe he was sick for 1 year, he wasn't able to file his ITR, but to do that for 4 consecutive years and not remember it, I don't recall seeing any news articles saying that Mr. Marcos was hospitalized for 4 straight years and that all of a sudden he has amnesia for about the last 10 years pertaining to him not filing the taxes and him being convicted, hence answering no when the question in his COC came up,
right,
asking him whether he was convicted of a crime or not. I think that that's the crux of the matter.
Right.
Were you convicted or not?
Fair enough.
Just answer the simple question. It's yes or no.
Okay, fair enough, Dr. Bautista. And Attorney Calleja, when all is said and done, who will decide whether or not Marcos should be disqualified or have his COC cancelled? The Commission on Elections or the Supreme Court?
The Commission of Election has a first crack, and whoever is unsatisfied with the decision of the COMELEC, then this will surely go up to the Supreme Court.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word, lawyer Howard Calleja and Dr. Rommel Bautista.